Hey guys, I'm here with another interview. I actually have the pleasure to talk to Steve for a second time. First of all, congrats on this very important victory. And how do you feel? Like, what's like the general team atmosphere after such a really important win?
Well, it feels really good because we just beat two top 6 teams. I mean, last week and now Fnatic, which we knew that coming into this week we had to face Fnatic and HUK. We had to take a win to kind of like secure the 7th place, as long as Splice loses. 7th place, and we knew that we had to beat Fnatic. Like HUK would be way harder, and yeah, it feels really good to beat them.
Okay, so like this is like the last week, of course. Maybe you guys secure hopefully your 7th place. Just reflecting back a bit on the split as a whole, like, do you think that the 7th place is like justified where you are right now as a team? How you progress? Like, what's your general take on like the progress you've made so far until this week?
Yeah, well, early in the split, we were only beating bottom teams, like because I think we had no real strategy, but we were better in team fights, so we ended up winning the game off of a good team fight. But we've turned into a team that, and against all the top teams, we just lost straight up because we had no idea how like lane swap. Sometimes we just straight up lost in lane swap or in draft. But we've turned into a team that we have better drafts. We understand lane swap now, and all the early game, and but we didn't know what to do in the mid game, so we lost against every top team. And then little by little, we just improved, and we know how to finish games now when we have leads, and we're pretty good, I would say, in the early game. So, I mean, that's the transition of our team, I'd say.
So of course you just said I think people have been rumoring that elements like God tier and scrims. Is it just like true that the only thing you can actually like practice is like early game? I mean, I myself as a player know that scrims are like complete clown fiesta, you know. But what happened? Like, what made you guys be like more decisive in the mid to late game? Is it just like the amount of games you played in LCS? Or like,
Wait.
did you guys practice decision making in the LCS, or because you couldn't practice it in scrims?
No, but it's not really true that we couldn't practice in scrims. Like every time, we always try to focus on more like objectives, how to close out the game properly. If ever we were behind, we would still play out the game. Like we wouldn't just FF because we were tilting because like some teams do. I think because they lose a fight and they just say, okay, FF. Yeah. Like we actually tried to play the game better, and that's how we improved it, I would say.
Okay, so
I want to add, I wouldn't say that we're God tier in scrims. We just, first of all, we don't even scrim all the top teams. Yeah. But so obviously, like, yeah, we can win a lot of scrims, but we don't scrim like all the best teams. So obviously, okay. You know.
Okay, fair enough. All right, you're pretty good at scrimming. All right, we put it as so. Moving a bit away from like the team focus, more of like you as a player. Do you think that you probably just had like a really successful style in the split, where you're just like really good at split pushing or developing like a pretty decent map sense? What do you think as a player like helped you to develop that during the split?
Well, depending on my champion, like I would either go split push. Like at the moment, like, I have a lot of success on Trundle because it's really good against tanks with the ulti. You can just straight up take towers, ignore the top laner. But I've also been working on pushing out the lane and then making TP plays. That's also a different style. Well, I think I'm pretty successful on both, like as of recently. But I didn't try it too much. I just played a lot of Trundle recently, so.
Okay, let's talk a bit about maybe top lane meta. Do you think that it's kind of boring right now? Because if you look at other regions, the only thing we see is like Poppy, Nautilus, and then there's Trundle. Like, what's your general take? Where like the carry top laners? Where's like Lissandra? Where's Quinn? They just disappeared. Why?
They disappeared because like tanks are straight up too strong. Like if you're even against a tank, you cannot beat him as a Quinn, even as a Graves. Like even with the recent mastery, I think Poppy is just too strong. Like you can just push out the lane in the mid. Okay, you win early, but then lose kind of in the mid game because of her power spike, and then later in the game you will win. But still, you can make plays on the map and just snowball the game straight out from TP plays with Nautilus, Poppy, these champions. And Trundle is just anti-tank. He cannot really make plays on the map, but because his TP is kind of weak. But in teamfights he can peel and stuff, so it's still strong in teamfight when there's a tank. But he's straight up really good in split pushing against a tank.
Okay, so the QSS interaction, I think we have like a lot of controversy. Maybe casters say, why is he picking up QSS? Do you want to elaborate maybe from your perspective why people just buy QSS against certain top lane champions like Trundle or Fiora or anything?
Well, I would say any tank matchup into Trundle will most likely have a lead in CS, so have a bit more gold. But Poppy has the possibility to make plays on the map, and she wins kind of early before Trundle has like big items. So if you're ahead and you can get some kills on the map and get gold from these kills and then buy QSS, it's fine. But if you're even or behind and you buy a QSS, it's just to counter the Trundle ulti, by the way, well, you're not going to win because if Trundle's ahead, his ulti, like level 16, his ulti cooldown with the items is lower than QSS. So you can just QSS once, force the QSS, ulti once, force the QSS, and then all in again later, and just go for the towers. I mean, yeah, basically it's pretty snowballedy, these matchups.
Okay. Last question. You guys, I mean, you specifically have been like a huge fan favorite on the Rift. People are chanting your name left and right. Do you want to say anything to your fans out there? Maybe you get annoyed at it, at the Steve Shons, or do you want to keep them coming? Like, what's your general, your last words?
Well, I like it, I guess, but the enemy team probably doesn't like it. But yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, yeah, I've been playing better and better, so I really appreciate these chants. Like, maybe when I'm feeding, they still chant it because it's funny, but when I'm playing good, it feels good, you know?
Yeah. All right. Congrats again for your huge victory. I hope you enjoy your long vacation, maybe, for the 7th place, maybe. And if you want to check out more interviews, we have them over at theScore eSports.com. Make sure to follow our Twitter at theScore eSports.